Hi friends, I'm Chris Field. I'm one of the candidates for the federal election in Casey coming up ever so soon. Many people know me in Lilydale and Mount Evelyn and Mooroolbark, but let me introduce myself to all the others who may not have met me yet. My background has been in the media and in Christian ministry, among a whole bunch of other things. And I've had an interest in politics over many years, but never wanted to be a politician. My concern has been about how, over the past half century, our rights and freedoms have been taken from us by successive political parties. Different prime ministers and different parties over time each seem to be working together to take from us the rights and freedoms that we had right back at the day of federation. In fact, the Australian Federation Party, which I'm working with, stands by our Constitution, which gives us all the rights and freedoms and established the federation, the commonwealth that's meant to be for all of us. But I've noticed that over the past half century, the major parties have seemed to work together to take away from us our rights and freedoms, and in fact to turn us into more of a corporation or a company rather than the nation that was established all those years ago. So I'm concerned about representing the people of Casey. You see, a lot of people that get elected go into Canberra and they don't represent the people who voted for them. They represent their party. They represent what the caucus wants them to do. They do what the lobbyists are begging them to do, and maybe even what people outside of the country, overseas people, are telling us to do so that those people can have some control over our nation. But Australia belongs to you and to me. And we need politicians that actually take the legislation back to the people and say, what do you think of this? What do you think we should do with this? What would you like to see changed? Unfortunately, successive politicians in the major parties over the past 50 years, so that covers all of the major parties, the ones you might think are good and bad, have worked together to seem to follow the party line or the lobbyists or the overseas interests, so that they pass legislation that brings you successively into greater and greater restriction. You notice that? You can't do the things you could do before. You've got to jump a whole lot of hurdles. There are restrictions coming upon us that are not really right. They are taking from us our rights and freedoms. So the Australian Federation Party, and me in particular as a representative for Casey, wants you to have the power over the legislation, to speak to me and to speak to the party about what you want, and then to go into Canberra to represent you. Now, all the major parties can't do that because they've got to listen to the party line, they've got to obey the party, they've got to listen to the caucus and the caucus decisions, and that's being influenced by the lobbyists and the overseas interests. And so you find that no matter what promises they give you now in the lead up, they will not fulfill those unless it fits in with the party game that's being played. And that game, I'm afraid to say, has continually robbed more and more of our freedoms. Hey, that's enough to get you started. I'll be putting up other stuff on my site. You see me at Chris for Casey. That's my kind of banner as we lead to this election. Chris for Casey on Facebook. And you'll see me giving more information over time to help you understand me, what I'm on about, and why you should be voting for Chris for Casey. Catch up to you later.
Authorised by G. O'Rourke, 101 Collins Street, Melbourne 3000, for the Australian Federation Party.